Hey everybody, this is Steven. You can call myself the QC game. We're back for now, your turn to die, and we're off to the main game start that fast, I would say the least, because of one point we tried to go into escape, but no. But it get a bit short, but now we just decided to go for the main game begin, so why not? We can make it more faster than I expected. But as I said before, there might be takes a long time for this main game starts it. And I think this is gonna be the second round of the main game, right? Since it's already been done that fast, we're on to like doing the final vote thing. They went that fast enough of this, so yeah. But I'm not sure how long it'll take for this part exactly. Probably will not to be short about this exactly, but if we are to get to proceed on to the next round or something like this is gonna happen beyond the point somehow. But it will be short, as I said before. And it's gonna be really crazy enough for this, and like now we have to figure out as to about the trade itself, since there were a lot of trades involved with, but you only have like 5 trades. It's really strange how to make it this short enough for this. So yeah, but we just had to go proceed onward on to the next one to see how far we're gonna take this exactly. So let's get things started. I mean, we got up to like got started like some of those trades like got tons of it so fast, so I might as well like extract some info from each of them to see any information we get so far. So yeah, there are 4 trades made in total. That ain't that many, but it's supposed to be 5 trades. Honestly, it's all a mess in my head. I would give him more time to sort it out. But did one of them ever say there was 5 trades?
By the way, I've been a commoner the whole way, Wolf. Didn't get traded with even once, meow. My heart was pounding, wondering when I get past the bad card, meow. But my mood didn't change out to the very end, Wolf. I made it through all 5 trades, meow.
Yeah, Kitaro said 4 trades, but it was actually 5 trades. But did it changes? Yeah, there were 5 trades in total, but Kitaro said it was 4 trades because of, well, the fact is like he doesn't remember much because he got knocked out from the taser or stun gun.
Muscle-Gorilla, that's wrong, meow.
What?
There were 5 trades, Wolf.
5? Wait, by my memory, there were 3 trades. Then I heard there was one just before the main game. I get it. You misunderstood, Kitaro. There were 2 trades while you were out. Yeah, but still not no ways for sure, like, how exactly got conscious of, like, he didn't remember what happened. Or did anyone explain to him about what really happened? I mean, he might be staying conscious around the time the whole day until they finally gotta wake up to the main game starts. What? That don't make sense.
That's I lie, meow.
Sorry, but nobody's giving me an explanation. Well, that's on us.
Hey, Kitaro. When was it that you passed Sawa the sacrifice card? Actually, did you have sacrifice from the start?
Nah, that ain't it. The first card I had was commoner. Okay, but why would you say something like, who had to sacrifice to begin with? I get it. That tells me most of the traits.
What? I don't have a clue, Wolf. Why is that, meow?
Because your friendly policeman made the first trade. Yeah, that first trade did start out. When KJ used the phone booth thing, the first trade was started with Sarah, right?
For real? Who'd you trade what?
I guess Sarah, the keymaster.
Eh?
What card did Sarah start with?
I had no reason to lie, but
I was a commoner. Yeah, I think this first start is a commoner.
At first, I was a commoner. You trade Keymaster for a commoner, meow?
Yeah, deep in the trust doing it. Let's do a little sort out. In the first trade, I passed the Keymaster into Sarah's hands. In the second trade, what got traded? Was it someone who made a trade from Tower's commoners? The dirt chase that started when Sarah's got the sacrifice, was it? Yeah, that must be it. Exactly. Someone's sacrifice was swapping with Kitaro's commoner. And the third trade, Sarah's Keymasters and Kitaro's sacrifice was swapped. Yep, that's what I mean.
Masakarada! That's everything you can remember, Meow!
We're gonna have you tell us.
Only details on the third trade.
Yeah, not sure how to explain much about Kitaro, but how does it make the third trade exactly?
At the time of the third trade, I was searching the first floor alone, Meow. So I want to know the situation, Wolf.
The third trade happened while everyone was sharing the laptop.
These trades, I better keep them sorted out in my head, too.
You can now sort out the details of the traits. Like, look through stuff. Yeah, like look through stuff like the whole trade thing, right?
Okay, let's get all this straight. The top of this table is what cards everyone had to start with.
It's mentioned as like they're still there, except there's one of the cards out of Alice.
Those further to the right had more token to spend, in broad stroke at least. The next row is what cards everyone had after the first trade. Below that is the after the second trade, after the third trade, and so on and so forth. And the bottom row is the after the fifth trade. In other words, the rules they end up with. Of course, this is all guesswork. I will work it if new information comes up.
Yeah, the new one who hasn't been revealed himself in the first trade was now Rico, Kana, and Soyu. Well, we'll see how this goes then. And we're gonna need to extract my info. Kitaro hadn't said anything at all, so.
Kitaro, why aren't you talking?
He doesn't explain what's going on. Maybe something pulled off or something like triggered it.
I was worried cause you weren't acting strange, Sarah. To think you betrayed the sacrifice. Then Kitaro, you're gonna make that trade on the spot and then act all innocent. Huh? Something strange here.
There's something triggered? There it is. Yeah, it did something really triggered. That might be why I keep silent.
Why won't you deny it, Kitaro?
What?
I mean, you need a ringer box to trade. If he used one of the spots, shouldn't we have seen him do it? What could he be hiding?
He was there the whole time, is it? I gotta like pull him out or something. Holy gee. You can't be slower. Next thing you know, to get faster. God dang it. Man, it's gotta like speed up to that really that fast, isn't it?
Besides, as you want, it's no use. Spill all out, Kitaro.
I meant to cooperate with Sarah, with everyone, but I got used for convenience. I'm pathetic, a pathetic adult. Third trait, my sacrifice being sent to Sarah. It wasn't me, it was Soyu's doing. I mean, that explains it like one point for like Soyu with his skins instead of going to the bathroom. After he saw this picture, it was like similarity, was it? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Soyu knew. He knew I had the sacrifice. What? When everybody was sharing the laptop, Soyu wasn't going to use the toilet. He went to use a ring-up box to trade my sacrifice in Sarah's Keymaster. But how does that exactly work exactly? It's not like Kitara's like still have his tablet on possession. Like, tell him like, here, I want you to take mine and do something with it, and then trade it with it. Mostly you need a token as well, but Kitara's the only most person who got a lot of tokens. Don't know anything about that.
Wait a second! He chose 2 other people and made them trade. You can do that?
It must be possible, huh? So you can say that with convenient confidence. So you? Isn't it about time you confess? Tell us your real reason for sharing the laptop. Such a deeply suspicious individual, Katie. You're still suspicious as always, so you... Like, I always don't like you like how you act like this. I mean, that's one thing for sure. I don't like you trying to do backstabbing us. Alright, do it like usual then. Discussions is stuck in equilibrium, failing to come to agreement. How about I hear the truth from your mouth? About what?
Between the statement these 2 given, I should either affirm correct ones or do not correct ones.
Kitara couldn't do the dirt trade. I was in the toilet, so I couldn't either. Was I deny it?
No, you didn't go to the bathroom.
Were you watching me?
I mean...
Don't not. Glad you're not a pervert.
Ron, this won't move things forward.
Okay, that was do something, so... I guess I'm friend with Katie then?
Exactly, because he has witness.
The question is, how did you know the sacrifice? Just went ahead with this assumption that I knew, huh? Did you learn about Kitaro's sacrifice via hacking? Couldn't I just take a peek to do that? Need that?
Precisely, you saw it directly. Kitara's intent was to negotiate with Soyu. And as a condition for this trade, you show Soyu a sacrifice card. It's natural to think that.
Such an active imagination, Miss Sarah. How about you use your imagination to consider what the negotiation was like? Kitaro started to negotiate outside Soyu's bedroom door. Huh? Were you watching or what? Just this one?
Yes, even Soyu already recognized that fact.
That's right. How does Soyu react to Kitaro's proposition? He must have let him in the room quickly and struck the deal. I'm not brave enough to let Kitaro in. Which is the right choice exactly? Maybe he didn't?
No, I'm sure Soyu was on guard. Kitaro had taken the laptop from him once before. Soyu wouldn't let him in the room, no questions asked.
Then did they make deal through the door? How amusing. I took out of the way. Kitaro slipped the tablet under the table. When you consider I might betray him, I guess that'd be it.
That's exactly. That's what Kitaro did to propose his deal. Soyu must have been fairly aware of Kitaro, who could best use in force. So Kitaro informed him that he was the sacrifice in advance. Not vocally, but by showing him his tablet.
Soyu, yet another objective on top of tokens in the Sarah folder. To control the sacrifice as you wanted. You got it. After the second trade, me and Kana were working on this game plan. Then I heard Kitaro through the door. Wanna make a deal, he said. I didn't care to listen, but he slid his tablet under the door. There I saw it. Sacrifice. How brave of him to go as far as offering up info just so I shared the laptop. What do you know? Sarah, you saw the first floor security footage, right? Yeah, that is actually real. So now you're admitting to yourself saying like I did the one place the card in the first place. Well, it's the truth. I hadn't discussed my first trial, have I? It was one absurd trial, I'll tell you. They told me. Set the props used for the dead game.
That's true? You set up the cards?
There was still no idea who gave him the card to Guitarro and told him to play something like randomly to hit. Yeah. Of course I didn't know what they meant yet. Once I found out, I knew Kai's fate was set. It's like I killed him. Kai took the stage card and I placed at random. That's why I at least wanted to get Kai's laptop back one more time. Such an emotional story. So that's what drove you to give me a whole 100 tokens.
100? Meow? No, ass. Not enough for 2 trades.
But you left yourself enough for just one trade. Cunning. Pretend to risk your life, but not forgetting to protect yourself. What a dirty adult you are. Say again? All told, you left yourself an escape route. If you were in a pickle, you could pass the sacrifice away from yourself. That's why I decided to act first and send the sacrifice to someone else. To Miss Sarah, always thinking of her allies. So the third trade was you who wanted it, but for the final trade, it happened at the end, it got traded. And now she got a commoner.
Is that the truth of the third trade?
I was hopeful it might make you tear out your sheep's clothing.
Why does he do all this to me?
I mean, what's gonna do with Sarah or anything? It's not even like it's kind of like a revenge or motive for some reasons. But you went above and beyond my expectations. The fourth trait was you, wasn't it, Miss Sarah? No, he can't. She can't. She doesn't have a token with it. Like, I'm not sure because I'm not sure I still have your tokens in me or something. But it said the trait required about 50. Was it? Like, I think. I saw you say I got 100 tokens. That means you could get 2 traits. But Sarah doesn't have one.
What are you talking about?
I mean, the sacrifice is what killed Joey, yes? I didn't have a token. Like, do you have any proof of how?
I didn't have enough tokens. I couldn't do any trades.
No tokens? That's hard to believe.
Quiet, loner. I was with Big Sis Sarah for the fourth trade, Wolf. So I was. So I didn't do any trade then.
Yeah, that was a habit of 4 trade. Like nothing changes. Well then, it must have been an ally who did it for you. Keiji, you took the sacrifice from Miss Sarah, didn't you? But it was happening on the 5th train, is it?
What? What's the meaning of this?
It's really very simple. The 2 of them were accomplices.
Why would you expect to believe that, Soyu? Ahem?
Miss Sarah and Keiji formed a terrifying plan involving the sacrifice. To achieve the victory in the main game, by way of said sacrifice, they schemed to escape by working together and having Keiji win the vote. I suspect the 5th trade that followed was Miss Sarah and Keiji making the bluff. They just picked 2 random commoners to have trade. Then, the sacrifice is
Keiji? That's all a while fabrications.
Yeah, I mean, even Keiji wasn't going to reveal himself and like what his role is exactly.
I mean, the sacrifice I had was taken away by the 5th trade. So you're spouting nonsense to lead everyone by the nose.
If my reason is correct, Keiji is the sacrifice, and the sage is Miss Snell, perhaps.
I'm the sage?
Why would you believe it's not a sage one, is it? You're just thinking of what's in your mind. Yep. So it may well be fine to have Miss Null die this time.
Wait a second! At the start, you said you were the sacrifice!
Yep. That was a lie. I'm a commoner.
No way! Then wouldn't you be in the same boat as me?
Huh. I see. Guess choosing anybody but Kenji is the same in the end. Then let's vote for Kana, since she's the least vulnerable.
So you?
Enough. It's been a long time since I hate somebody this much. Here's a friendly little police report. I long since used up all my tokens. You want me to just believe that? So you're just dying to say I end up being a sacrifice, aren't you? Disclosure. Keymaster. Yep, but Kitaro said he was a keymaster, but it was actually a lie. And the tables had turned from Keiji. Unfortunately, I'm the keymaster. Huh? What are you saying? The keymaster is Kitaro, though. No, sir, we got him good. And your real world is? Sage. My real world is Sage!
Kitaro's a sage?
Ridiculous! That's impossible! It's possible, alright. And as a sage, I'm making an announcement. Keiji won't, without a doubt. The Keymaster. It can't be true. That's all. You're on the right track to think accomplice. But it wasn't someone I teamed up with. He was Kitaro. So that's not gonna do anything. Let's tell the truth of the fourth trait, shall we? The trait between Mr. Policeman and Kitaro. Okay. Give it a long explanation, is it? And it comes to music intensified there. First, when Soyu betrayed me with the sacrifice, I'm gonna stomp it around in a rage. When I heard what happened, I proposed to Kitaro that we team up. And so in the fourth trait, Keiji Kitaro cards got traded?
That fourth trait sure they're not punishing the loner now. Well, meow.
Hold on! Kitaro, wouldn't you pass out during the fourth trade? Okay, now it starts to changes. And the fourth trade starts at the stage here. But one thing for sure, like, who got a stage to begin with? Well, I guess it gives a long explanation then. Senior Hunter Funny-sama, I was convinced the sacrifice had moved it to you. I wouldn't let it stand. I saw I'd knock him down and take my tokens back. Keiji noticed me then, and came to talk. He persuaded me to give it up. Didn't know what Soyu was thinking, after all. And so I trust Keiji, and him take custody of all my remaining tokens.
All of them?
So in other words, like, he gave all the Kitaro, he gave some of Kitaro's tokens to Keiji, but not sure why.
Ashibir's policeman is burning with desire to see justice carried out, meow. He used our whole 50 token to trade cards with Muscle Gorilla just to defeat the Lone Wolf. Huh? Before, Mr. Policeman said he didn't have any tokens in the fourth trade, meow. He couldn't have traded, Wolf.
But Kitaro did say that he traded all the tokens to Keiji.
You gave him all your tokens, meow?
Sure did. It seems like that land way outside of Soyu's ballpark. Shut up! But at Lee Way, are we? I still got doubts. I can't be convinced with just that. After all, Keiji, why were you able to know about Kitaro having the Keymaster? Is it the only way to do that during the main game? With the Sage power of convergence? Huh. So you still don't know. Okie dokie. Let's resume the discussion.
We have just found a new statement for Soyu. Should I keep going?
made some changes. Can I try Keiji then? That said, when I first spotted him, I just pacify him since he pissed. But I ended up talking with Kitara and we thought things over. The fourth trade, I trade my Keymaster with Kitara's Keymaster. But actually, I went and did this trade myself while Kitara was passed out. Since Kitara figured it out during the main game, I was able to put this story together. It's all owed to the power of the card, even my noticing that Kitara's Keymaster. Okay, so that changes, right? It's gonna be intense, doesn't it? So, with this one here, you don't own to the power of the card, so put the statement here.
The power of the card. You don't mean...
Yeah? The Sage Convergence, of course.
The Sage could use convergence even outside of the main game?
That's what the tablets are for.
You intentionally didn't mention it!
I remember all the mysteries now. This should prove it. Mr. Policeman, use conferences to see Kitara's Keymaster. Then, I made a fourth trade to swap Kitara's Keymaster and my Sage. And now, there isn't even a need to discuss the fifth trade anymore. Convinced of your victory earlier, you confess, I'm a commoner. Any other questions? There are lots of questions, and like, since when do you know about it? We don't want to know who got the Sage then.
No, there's something odd about Keiji's story. It all became clear. If I look back at the trade so far, the card I had at first was a commoner. Keiji was a Keymaster. And in the first trade, the Keymaster was sent to me and my commoner to Keiji. Next, the second trade. The sacrifice went to Kitaro, and his commoner went to someone else. Next, the third trade. So, initiate a trade that sent me to sacrifice in Kitaro's Keymaster. And the fourth trade. The Keymaster went to Keiji, and the Sage to Kitaro. The part that's strange, sure enough, it's
the Sage.
That's it. The Sage is out of place.
So still, who's got the Sage in the first time?
Keiji should have been commoner the whole time. So, why did Keiji have the Sage at the time of the fourth trade? That must mean...
Maybe he was... His first wasn't the Keymaster then?
Keiji first card being the Keymaster. That was a lie. Keiji had the Sage from the beginning.
Okay, so... But still, who got the first one of the Keymaster exactly? Like, it's already been traded or something. But Keiji was there, like... Beyond that point, he's using the Renya box to do a first trade.
And so, his conferences let us see who had the Keymaster from the beginning too. Which is why, in the first trade, he could make me in the person with the Keymaster trade. But if he did that, had he been lying to me this whole time? Are you really going to vote for Soyu?
Now?
Something's not right. We should discuss this a little more. Don't be stupid. You're a candidate now. It's a discussion leading to you getting picked. I'm afraid too. But I just get a weird feeling. Are we sure Soyu is really a commoner? And that Keiji is a Keymaster? No.
Yeah, something is odd for sure.
Exactly right. There's still mystery remaining. In the fifth trade, Why did someone trade for the sacrifice I had? And the other party was a commoner. This isn't a problem we can ignore. Yeah, Meow. This Finn trade, we should talk about it some, Wolf.
If by any chance we pick the sacrifice, we're done for, you know. We shouldn't need any more discussion.
Catchy?
Digging up old conclusions is just gonna make us more lost. It's your turn to die, Soyu. That's how this ends.
No. We can do it! We can't do that, Catchy! As long as we have time, we should seek the truth.
Alright. Let's do this! We'll discuss the rules of 4. Who is in the final vote?
The someone who moves Sour Sacrifice, feed the Finn train.
It can't take the Keymaster. Soyu, Kana, or now should be the sacrifice, right?
Is Alona really the commoner, Meow? Sure you believe that, Wolf?
It's alright. Really? It's alright? Is how you with it. Soyu was convinced the whole time that Saw traded away the sacrifice. In other words, Kana or now, which one of them would have the sacrifice?
I don't believe it. Kenji and Kitara are lying.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you're saying is.
Damn it. Damn it! So you seem very persuasive at all.
I guess lost a thought though. That said, Soyu fell for Kenji's trick. The location of sacrifice or any card, he didn't know one lick about the truth. If he stole my tablet when he knocked me out, maybe he couldn't earn my card. That could be a problem though. He got knocked out. If Soyu was the one who used his stun gun to knock Kitan out, and his tablet will like fall off on the ground as well, maybe Soyu just somehow taking a look at it. But I kept it on me at all times to avoid just that. Kept the dog beneath my clothes, so he didn't have a chance to do a tomfoolery. He's a commoner.
His tablet, huh?
But I got his tablet in my possession. But you changed why I still have it.
Kitaro, you say you had your tablet on you at all times, yes?
But didn't Gashu say mention about like one of your tablets gone missing, so I decided to give you some spare tablets? You didn't say who specifically, but I get the feeling it's Kitaro, because I got the Kitaro's tablet in my possession. That's why I still have it. Yep, take a look. It's right here.
And when you woke up, where was it?
On the table in the Last Supper room. On the table?
I call that being of you, Meow! As I thought. That tablet Kitaro has now is a spare. This tablet I pick up was lying near you when you were passed out.
What you said?
I would assume this is Kitaro's original tablet. The question is, why was it lying on the floor?
Soyu was talking it. I mean, that's the only thing we could do. What do you mean by it's to be discarded? It doesn't make any sense.
It's because Soyu took the tablet from Kitaro.
What?
But they left by fingerprints!
Sure. But while near him, he could bypass by that by simply pressing their faint fingers to it. Yeah, that's fair enough. And so we arrive at the outrageous truth. What do you mean by that? Depending on when Soyu look at the tablet, he might have seen through our entire strategy. And even if he start freaking out already, he's not saying he's a complete lie. He just pretends he start freaking out. What? The worst time for it will be after the fourth trade. That's when Kitaro had the Sage, and I had the Keymaster. If he saw the tablet then, he could use Kitaro's Sage power to also know I was his Keymaster. So, Has Soyu just been acting fooled? By playing the fool, being the fool, as this one says. Shoot, you got me. Or not. What if I'm acting right now? Or maybe I'm telling the truth. Soyu? Not good. Now there's a possibility that Soyu has the sacrifice. So as it stands, there's no way we can vote for Soyu! But that doesn't mean we can't just vote for Kana on now either. Well then, let's resume the discussion, guys. We'll discuss who it's safe to vote for. Oh, great. That'll take a long time to figure something out. We're gonna find the one who with the least chance of having a sacrifice. Soyu's an absolute no-go! He's the most likely to pull this kind of trick. But if I could go and beat this now, is there any real difference, Wolf? You need a certain amount of tokens to take care of sacrifice. To take the sacrifice from someone to betray. But still, who have the tokens then? None of them have a capable of having to trade them. All I can think of is tokens, Meow. Makako has a lot. It bases now only on Little Wolf. What do we even do now, Meow? Tokens. Did it change something? Okay, they changed it, so you need shuffle information then. But I can't choose no Kana, damn it. Okay, no information from that. If you consider the token counts, you get your answer. Oh wait, what about the Sword Art? Let me check. Okay. So Keiichi already got the Sage to begin with then. But she had no idea who got the key message to begin with. Just curious. I don't know any of who did the trade. What possibility are there? Maybe this? Like Jin said, no, hardly had any tokens. Surely she couldn't have been the one to take the sacrifice from Sarah. Then, is now the one with the least likelihood? Wait! Please! This isn't right! This is no least likelihood? Are you going to kill me with such vague reasoning? Please! Have another discussion! You're right. We can't end this discussion. You? What are you saying? I just remembered something. There was a way anyone could get tokens. Miss Sarah, you know it too, don't you? A way for anyone to get tokens? I do not know. Are you saying Nao took the token from it? Not because of Nao was along with Rico, is it? Please tell me it was. By seeing tokens from Anna's body. I knew you could do that. Business no one do such a thing, Meow! But it's true. When I went to check the body, the tokens were already gone. Yeah, but I thought for sure it was Sapolane the one who cleaned the body up then, along with the tokens. And now I was closely inspecting the Room of Lies. Nah, it ain't just Nao who could have done it. Couldn't any of us gotten those tokens? In other words, everyone has potential to possess the sacrifice. It all ends with a game of trust. Then that last action's going to be the key. What were each of us doing at the time of the 5th trade? As in... just before the main game starts, Wolf? Hope you can find the sacrifice. Well, it would be hard to explain much. We are determined to base on Soyu, Kana, and Nao's action at the time of the 5th trade. I was sitting on the stairs thinking back on everything that had happened. I was on laptop in the winner's room the whole time. Will you believe that? Yeah, you were like twinkling for it. You keep thinking that maybe the way like you can like hack it.
Kana wasn't really doing anything. Just wondering, I'm astonishing.
Did anybody see what the three were doing? I was with now on the stairs most of the time.
I was searching all by myself to see if there was any other exit, meow.
But Jin said she found something. You see, she found a smartphone, is it?
I didn't see those three, meow. Sorry, Wolf. Come to think of it, didn't you tell me you found something while searching? Yeah? Yeah. There was a smartphone on the stairs, Wolf.
Yeah, no doubt. The smartphone was Kana's. Maybe Kana was searching for a smartphone that she must have dropped it.
What? But I wouldn't even make calls. It was used for escape, meow.
It changes. Okay. And Kana, you say you were wandering absent-mindedly. I don't see you around the time.
Kana, why aren't you speaking?
You question her?
Are you hiding something, Kana? Come to think of it, I feel like you were the only one I didn't see around then. Really, where were you?
Yeah, I was thinking, I was looking from the rubbles, the winner's room, and the stairs. But Kana wasn't even there around the time.
I mean, I was looking for something to drop.
Yeah, she's looking for a smartphone though.
Something she dropped?
So you're tying it with Jin then.
Kana, was it a smartphone you lost? How did you know? Sure enough. I bet it's the same smartphone I found in Kana's first trial room.
Yeah, but in the first one, it's like something really mean. The next thing I know is like the changes. It's like saying something really nice. It's like trying to be apologetic. Like, why?
Jin, tell me, where'd you pick that up? It was a way down the stairs, meow.
I'm clumsy. She must have just dropped it while we were all climbing the stairs, surely. Are you trying to protect Kana? I'm pretty sure you still feel like you're still keeping an eye on her.
Are you protecting Kana, Soyu? Me? Stick up for Kana. Think back for me. When we were climbing the stairs, Soyu and Kana were walking in front. If she had dropped the phone then, everyone should have noticed. In short, this was only dropped after we all climbed up the exit. Kana dropped it while descending the stairs. Nah. What did she descend for? Why are you trying to hide this, Kana? Because Zara! The message on this phone, meow! Right, that's what Kana's sister... Huh? It's a different message.
But still, who exactly wrote that message exactly? Nasa said something different. Said, "Thank you, I love you, sister." Now it's Kana's turn to protect her big sister. Because that's how Kana can tone. I just think feeling this might be hers doing, was it? But it says notes, but then it gives a message. Thank you. I love you, sister. Now it's Kana's turn to protect her big sister. Because that's how Kana can tone.
This... Please get that back! Hold on. Did you write this, Kana?
But Kana's bigger sister is already dead. Could it be the sister in this message is... He got referred to Sarah, is it?
No way. Surely not. Is that right? Kana? Your sister here is me?
Dang, that's really harsh, isn't it? Even Kana could call Sarah as a sister. But she said that she reminded me of my sister. Really strange.
Yes. I know, it's strange. But Kana, you're...
And so you want to save Sarah that much?
Yes.
Hey, Kana. Was it you who traded away Sarah's sacrifice? But that has to be it, was it? But something's still not right for sure. To avoid using the ring out box in the winner's room, you returned to the third floor to trade. Yeah, the winner box was on the winner room, but Soyu was there. If Kana was to use the ring out box there, Soyu would have like curious of like what Kana's gonna do. But he wouldn't buy it. He was just like busy trying to look at the laptop, like trying to hack something. Or whatever it is if you're trying to use it on the laptop. Hey now! You're talking like Kana's... Are you saying she took the sacrifice to protect Sarah?
That's... so... It's inconceivable. No, I don't want to conceive of it. Deny it. Kana!
What wordless reasoning. That's all a load of...
No, it's all correct.
You idiot! Don't say anything! Jeez, so you really still really care about Kana that much, do you?
Kana did the fit trade. She won't hide the truth anymore. Kana did it. She really did it. To protect me. She took the sacrifice for herself.
There's just no worse outcome.
A self-sacrifice? Kana!
So you called on at some point, didn't you? That's why you're trying to move the votes towards Kana.
Shut up!
Since there was no other way for Kana to survive.
Please wait! Will you listen carefully to what Kana has to say?
I'm pretty sure you gotta explain the whole reason what really did happen. Like, something ain't right. She did the fit trade. The one thing for sure is, like, what happens next. Progress. It's strange to get rid of silence and get dripping noise.
With the fit trade, Kana switch her card and Sawa's card.
Okay, is something sorted out? Yeah, I know that for sure. Still the same as always. So give me some full explanation.
Once she knew escape wasn't possible anymore, she had no idea what to do. Then, she looked at the phone. Seeing her sister words calmed her heart. And she came to despise herself for not being able to do anything. This whole time, Kana had just kept betraying her sister, the others, Sarah. She just had the feeling that Soyu had sent the sacrifice to Sarah. Kana doesn't get the complicated trade talk. She can't even reason out who gave who what. Even so, she was certain of just one thing. Because Sarah's so kind, she couldn't trade the sacrifice to anyone.
Kana.
She didn't want to let Sawa die. And also, she didn't want to make Soyu a murderer. That seems more painful than her own death. So she traded her commoner for Sawa's sacrifice.
Kana.
But
She's gonna tell us what her real role is. Disclosure. Commoner. So strange is like, even she was the one to do the fit trade, but she still had the commoner, but there is no any 6 trades or anything just yet. Like, something ain't right though.
the card she received was a commoner.
What? What's going on here, Kana?
Kana doesn't understand either. She traded cards with Sarah, but it wasn't a sacrifice. Unthinkable. What's Connor saying? It's all true. Please believe me. Anyway, we just have to talk about Connor's statement.
Yeah, there has to be someone like messed up the whole trade thing, is it?
I can't believe Bucket Girl. Wolf, she's lying to trying to confuse us, Meow.
Well, maybe Connor just messed up who she was training with or something? So the unique situation that caused the role to just disappear? Is that possible, I wonder?
You can't trust Electronic for S. The tablet error and the trade got messed up. Don't tell me. Whenever Sawyer had the roll cards themselves. I don't know what to believe.
Like, neither do I. Can't see through to the truth in their hearts right now. So we might have to find the objective truth.
The truth.
Yeah, nah, changes. Like, she no longer like sacrifice, but gets extract information out of it. Maybe the influence Sawyer's hacking is into the raw data on or something. So nice evidence would make that whole lot more confusing. Too bad. But didn't Sawyer have his own laptop in possession or something? But I had a feeling it would be possible. I don't know how the ring box works, but if you're just saying names into the receiver, then it couldn't be a mistake.
And yet my sacrifice definitely moved.
If it ain't kind of mistakes, then maybe the floor master purposely changed the destination? Something like that.
Gashu changed the trade?
Come to think. Wasn't Miley talking about some transgression of Gashu just before the main game? Yeah, it's something they have between Miley say something for it. But yeah, Gashu is the one who hides something.
Sawyer's hardly saying anything. You can't read his thoughts.
But he could be lost at that.
You have to think about it, right, Sarah?
Certainly no info from you, Miko.
This might be a bizarre opinion, but Sawyer was spending many time messing with the laptop in the witness room, right? I wonder, did he have the card data then? Is that even possible? Because I mean, there isn't anyone but Sawyer who could cause the irregularity. Is there?
Someone who could cause the irregularity? That has to be it, is it? Something irregularly and transgression involved.
There was a possibility. Something separate from Sawyer's hacking. And the irregularity that definitely occurred. The discretion by Floor Master Gashu. Eh? Say what? Remember what Miley said before the main game? Gashu! Are you listening? You had gone and mucked things up. You made flagrant transgression. One that shakes the very core of the main game.
Which transgression was supposed to mean exactly? Like, did he somehow change the trade from them?
Despite being such a huge transgression, it hasn't shown itself at all thus far. And now, there's an illogical movement of the cards that tormenting us. Could this very issue by Gashu's transgression?
If we believe Kana, that's the only explanation.
You're saying that could tamper with the card movement? But for the Floor Master, what would be the merit of doing that? Well,
maybe there is some?
there was some sort of merit. And that's why Gashu pushed us through the argument.
I see. If his goal could be made clear, maybe we know who he moved the sacrifice to, that is. According to off-mark interference, is it alright for you to be using your time on this?
Gashu, if you can't engage in any misconduct, then promise us. I know the Floor Master's code. If we can expose your transgression, this main game won't count. We demand a second attempt 24 hours later.
Yeah, how do you like that, huh, Cashew? You just know everything, don't you? As to be expected from Miss Sarah children. Unless in one line with one person I know of. Promise or no promise, I will simply carry out my duty as per the code. Oh! You're for real?
With 24 hours, we could make another shot at escape.
But, are you certain? If you cannot prove it, you'll only be losing time to spend on other reasoning.
It's okay. This new possibility was spun. This theory wasn't being directed at Gashu. So you, please tell us the truth. The other possibility is that you did some sort of hacking to the roll cards, so you. If we know whether that claim is true or not, we can fight. Let's all combine force to win the extension.
Kana,
Yes?
you really don't have to sacrifice?
It's okay. Kana really doesn't have to sacrifice.
I see. I didn't access the roll cards. I didn't do any hacking to them.
So you.
That's the truth, Miss R. No lies, no tricks. Alright, let's quit deceiving each other. Let's swear to expose Gasha transgression.
Just what I wanted to hear. This is a turning point in our destiny. A path we could never have reached if we trapped by endless suspicions. The path of us all trusting each other and battling the kidnappers head on. Together, we'll expose Gashu's misdeed.
And that leads to the third round, right? The news has started to change. And it's all blue there, I see. Gash has something to gain from tampering with the trade.
You think he had to sacrifice gold to someone he wanted to kill?
Or else, you think there was somebody who Gashu didn't want to die?
Is there an answer in the clues we have yet?
There's a fundamental issue. Maybe the sacrifice wasn't actually sent to anybody. Then it changes the sort of thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it for now, so yeah. We're on to like, this is like to be a final moment we're gonna have to face. That was like turned on intense, I didn't expect this much. Like still, I still have no idea who got the keymaster to begin with. Still, like none of them had like given like a right way to like who got it from the start or something like that. So, but Leah's a main, but that's how it goes. So, but anyway, I'll come after again, and we're still getting close to finish this chapter. And once it happens, we get to the final chapter. But there's still no new update just yet for the past episode. I mean, the Nintendo say when that happened, but I really hope it happens. Like, if possible, if the new update comes up right now, or maybe something in the near future like that, I might do it for the next one. Probably. But anyway, that'll be much it for Your Turn to Die in this video. Hit the like button too. Line them up! And once the videos, go subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.